We are starting with the cinematic versus portrait video on both phones. Galaxy S25 Ultra versus iPhone 16 Pro Max. Now we're testing the audio eraser on Galaxy S25 Ultra. Hope you hear the difference. I think that's it for the quick audio and portrait video test. Let the battle begin.
Late night, feels like I'm all alone.
Starting with 1x, I think both phones are really good. Subject is really sharp on both phones. The main difference is the white balance, a little bit warmer skin tone on iPhone 16 Pro Max.
Pops up on my phone.
I honestly like the contrast of both phones, as you can see on my shirt and my pants.
You talk for hours on it.
And even indoors, they exhibit the same color profile and colors. S25 Ultra has a more neutral tone.
Tone into my heart. I wanna let you know that you can't.
On 2x portrait, we're using the main sensor, and you will notice that Galaxy S25 Ultra has a wider field of view. Also, great edge detection on both phones. Indoors, on a more challenging situation, a little bit of noise looking at my cap and my head on S25 Ultra, but iPhone 16 Pro Max exposes it well. And depending on the skin complexion, I think S25 Ultra makes your skin whiter, while iPhone 16 Pro Max is more color accurate.
Something inside.
On telephoto, this is where S25 Ultra takes the win because you have 3x and 5x as opposed to only 5x natively on iPhone 16 Pro Max. But looking at the face, there's more details on the latest iPhone.
Important, but feels my soul.
Again, iPhone 16 Pro Max is warmer than the competition, but the contrast and beautification is a little bit stronger on the Galaxy.
Feel safe and sound. We're not in love.
I like the selfie on iPhone 16 Pro Max. You got more details on the subject and you would see that there's gradual blur. There's more details on iPhone 16 Pro Max, but the skin tone is warmer on Galaxy S25 Ultra.
Your voice says matters.
We're doing a quick video test indoors. Later we will do the outdoors as well. So this is in 4K 30 FPS. Galaxy S25 Ultra has 0.6. iPhone 16 Pro Max is 0.5, a little bit wider. 50 megapixel versus 48 megapixel. So this is the main sensor, video recording in 4K 30 FPS, 200 megapixel on Galaxy S25 Ultra, and only 48 megapixel on iPhone 16 Pro Max. But in terms of quality and details, which phone do you think is better? Now we're quickly testing the 3x on both phones. So optical zoom on Samsung Galaxy S25 Ultra, 10 megapixel, and we're just using digital crop on iPhone 16 Pro Max. And lastly, the battle of 5x optical zoom. So we have 50 megapixel sensor on Galaxy S25 Ultra, and we have 12 megapixel on iPhone 16 Pro Max. In terms of details on my face, which phone do you think is better? This is a quick video test outdoors for you to see the difference. We're going near the subject on the ultra wide lens. So 0.6 on S25 Ultra and 0.5 on iPhone 16 Pro Max. We also have 1x. You can see a little bit of difference in the white balance, a little bit warmer on iPhone 16 Pro Max. Again, getting near the subject for you to see the details. We're also testing 2x digital crop. We also have 3x on Galaxy S25 Ultra and checking 5x. Do you see the difference in the quality on the subject? Which phone do you think is better? Impeccable image quality on both phones. I think they look really similar in terms of colors. I think we came to a point that Samsung and iPhone's image quality are very similar. On the main sensor, there's more details on the 200 megapixel sensor of Galaxy S25 Ultra, but iPhone aggressively triggers macro, less out of focus area, and more details on the surface.
So baby, roll with this, yeah, baby, roll with this.
Better exposure on Galaxy S25 Ultra, while iPhone 16 Pro Max crushes the blacks. And I think in terms of color profile, they look really similar, just a tad brighter on the latest Galaxy. And although iPhone triggers the macro aggressively, looking at the bokeh balls, they look really similar too.
So just roll with this, yeah baby, roll with this.
And checking the focal length, both phones have ultra-wide main and 5 times optical zoom, but you have native 3x and 100 times space zoom on Galaxy S25 Ultra. Now checking the slow motion, both phones now have 4K 120 FPS video recording, which is great. Both also has secondary sensors, ultra-wide on S25 Ultra and telephoto on iPhone 16 Pro Max.
I'm taking over.
We are testing the selfie video recording of iPhone 16 Pro Max and Galaxy S25 Ultra in 4K 60 FPS. We're also doing a little bit of stabilization tests on both phones. Now let's switch to the rear cameras. Now this is the video stabilization test in 4K 30 FPS, starting with the ultra-wide lens. You can also see a difference in white balance. Now we're switching to 1x. The main sensor, again, quick video stabilization test. We also have 3x on S25 Ultra. And switching to the optical zooms, 5x. This is the quality on both phones. How's the stabilization? And checking the 4D zoom, we got 15x on iPhone 16 Pro Max and 20x on Galaxy S25 Ultra. Night shots are very good on both phones, especially on situations where there's enough light. There's just more details and contrast on the latest iPhone 16 Pro Max. The images are also a little bit warmer on the iPhone, which looks more inviting than the competition. But I think the biggest difference here is the pitch black condition. You got more details and less noise on iPhone 16 Pro Max. I also noticed you have stronger vignetting on Galaxy S25 Ultra and also purple fringing. And checking all sensors, they can shoot night shot from the ultra-wide to the telephoto. This is the low-light video recording test, starting with the selfie camera in 4K 30 FPS, arm's reach for both iPhone 16 Pro Max and S25 Ultra. In terms of hardware, you have 12 megapixel f1.9 on iPhone 16 Pro Max and also 12 megapixel f2.2 on S25 Ultra. In terms of the overall video quality, if you check the lamp, it is better exposed on iPhone 16 Pro Max, a little bit blown out on S25 Ultra. In terms of white balance, warmer and better exposed on iPhone 16 Pro Max, a little bit wider too in terms of field of view. While in Galaxy S25 Ultra, punched in, you got neutral tone and the contrast is a little bit stronger. So which phone do you think is better? Now this is the ultra-wide lens. On the rear camera, 4K 30 FPS. So you have 48 megapixel f2.2 on iPhone 16 Pro Max and you have 50 megapixel, a new sensor on Galaxy S25. It is f1.9. So technically the lens on Galaxy S25 Ultra is a little bit bigger than the competition. But if you look on the video quality, I'll move a little bit for you to see the video difference. In terms of field of view, you have 0.5 on iPhone 16 Pro Max, which is a little bit wider, and you have 0.6 on Galaxy S25 Ultra. Which phone do you think is better in terms of video quality, the sharpness, the details, and the colors? Now we're switching to the main sensors on both phones, arguably the best sensors you can use for low-light video recording, again in 4K 30 FPS. So you have 200 megapixel sensor on Galaxy S25 Ultra and 48 megapixel sensor on iPhone 16 Pro Max, 4 times as big as the competition. But in terms of details, colors, and white balance, which phone do you think is better? Now we're punching the videos a little bit, again in 4K 30 FPS. So we have 10 megapixel 3x optical zoom on Galaxy S25 Ultra. We're only using digital crop on iPhone 16 Pro Max. This only has triple camera setup. It's missing the 3x optical zoom of S25 Ultra. Now let's switch to 5x. Now we're testing the 5 times optical zoom on both phones. So we have 50 megapixel sensor on Galaxy S25 Ultra and only 12 megapixel sensor on iPhone 16 Pro Max. But looking at the details on the face and the colors and white balance, which phone do you think is better? This is 8K video recording on Samsung Galaxy S25 Ultra, the highest resolution you can find on both smartphones. You can only shoot 4K 60 FPS on iPhone 16 Pro Max. So I think I will end with this video test. Let me know which phones do you want to be compared on our next camera comparison video. Peace.